Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Continuously Refined. I'm Shayna.
And I'm Cicely.
And today we're going to fill you in on our lives. What's
Yeah.
been going on? We are both in the swing of corporate jobs and therefore we don't record as much as we would like. So
True.
here is our updates. We're also together in person, which never happens because we live states away.
Yep.
And so it's fun. It's cool. The energy's here. And we're just going to fill in on our lives and kind of talk about like just a conversation between you and I of like how our lives have been, updates, changes, because in the last 12 months there's been just drastic changes. We've both moved states, adjusted lives. Like there's so much to talk about, and we want people to like be able to relate and know that these feelings are true, real, valid.
Yeah. I feel like our lives like over the last year have looked pretty similar, yet we feel so different at all different points of the year. Like I feel like every month I have felt so different, even though it's like, okay, well, we're mainly working, we're mainly doing the same thing every day, but they talk about like post-grad's hard, whatever. I'm like, I'm enjoying post-grad, but like your early 20s feels hard.
Yeah, and I think things hit you at different points in time. Like
100%.
There's spans of 2 weeks where I'm like on cloud nine, I'm loving it, I'm spending money, I'm going out, I'm doing things.
Great. I'm traveling, I'm whatever.
And then other days I question like what the hell I'm doing. Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Like I need a change, I need a move, I need something. And so there's really this ebb and flow that I think you and I have experienced, as well as a lot of our friends. And so having these conversations to know that you're not alone in those has been really
100%.
helpful.
Yeah, because you aren't alone. Like everyone says your early 20s are hard, and then you're going through it, and like you said, you have your weeks where you're like, no, it's not, this is easy. And you're in your weeks where it's like, oh wait, like I'm stuck in this rut, I'm stuck in this funk, I'm stuck in this routine of my life works like I'm going to work, I'm coming home, I go work out, now I have to eat dinner, and now I need to go to bed to wake up and do the exact same all over again
4 days in a row.
Whereas we just came from 4 years of college. No day in college looked the same.
No.
Every day looked different. Every day was spontaneous. It was fun. It was different. And now it's like, okay, well, what do you mean I'm living this like monotonous life every single day?
Totally. And I think the biggest adjustment for you and I has been moving home.
Yeah.
Moving back to our hometowns.
Yes.
Into our childhood homes.
Yeah.
With our parents and families.
Yep.
And so grateful to have the opportunity to live somewhere for free right now in the
100%.
stage we are in. But that's a big change. We lived for 4 years on our own.
Independently.
Completely independently.
We didn't have to like, I didn't have to text my parents like where I was going, what I was doing. I didn't have to come home and answer a bunch of questions about what I'm doing.
Yeah. How your day's been.
Yes. And like, that's just, it's a change. It's different. You're also factoring in other people now. And I think that especially like we love our parents and we want to spend time with them. And not that we feel an obligation, but it's like, well, you are paying for us to live at home. Like essentially, like we're living for free at home. And so it's like, well, I want to spend time with you also and don't want to just like run away and travel every weekend. And it's this weird adjustment. I mean, like I'm living in my childhood bedroom that still has a turquoise wall in it.
And it's different than when you were 16 and in high school because it's been 4 years.
Yes.
And so having so much change in your life, but then going almost backwards into the same place that you were before you had all this personal growth is an adjustment.
Yeah,
it's
it
so
kind
hard.
of can feel like you're going backwards sometimes, but it's like, but we're not.
But you're not, and you're moving forward. So
and
definitely
it's so normal.
The living at home.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. The amount of money that we are both saving is substantial, and we are just setting ourselves up for future success in the end. And hindsight, so grateful for it. But it gets like you're frustrated. It gets hard.
Yeah.
There's so many layered aspects to not just like post-grad starting a career, but moving home.
Yeah, and I think that I can get wrapped up easily in the comparison aspect of seeing like,
I know all these people in New York.
Yes, or everyone that moved to Dallas or all of these things. And then you talk to your friends that are just in different places.
This is a good
point.
Like,
even my friends that moved into Chicago or just different things. And like no one's life is as perfect as it's seeming. And I think that we have this mindset of like post-grad looks like moving to a cute new city and exploring that city and planting roots there and making new friends and getting into a fun job.
Yeah.
It's this romanticized idea of what post-grad
totally idolized.
And it's not the case. You talk to people in the new cities and they're struggling to make friends, whereas we were at least able to return to some of our high school friends. They are struggling in this new place. Everything was different. They went to a new place. They got a new job. Like I am very lucky that I got a job at home. And so that's the only thing that changed for me.
You have the comfort.
Yes. And it's like, I have my high school friends. I have my like home that I'm used to, my family. My job is the only thing that was like kind of thrown into the mix that's different.
Which, going from having class like 2 days a week to working an 8 to 5, I mean, talk about adjustment, talk 100%. About routine, talk about putting what you've learned and your skills that you think you have into like this corporate world that is so new to you, balancing people with crazy tenure who have been at the company for 15, 20 years. I mean, never have I been surrounded by people who are so much different than myself. Yeah. We went throughout high school, or middle school, high school, college. You were surrounded by people who were your same age, who kind of like to do the same things as you. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in a workforce. You have a child. Yeah. So there's just so much adjustment too when it goes to entering into a corporate world and working those full-time jobs.
Yeah, and you want to like make friends at the company and like meet people, but it's like there might not be a ton of people your age, or there might not be people that have, like you said, like everything in common. Whereas in college, when you're able to pick from people within a 4-year age gap of you, you're most likely going to find things
similar interests
that you have in common. Whereas at work, it might just be your job.
Yeah, that's all you have in common.
That might be all you have in common with people, and so it's navigating that too and being like, okay, you're like a cool person to talk to at work, but like maybe that's all it is. And I think that's something else like that's romanticized, of like finding your best work friend and finding these best friends at work that like you're attached to the hip and you like get to see them every day and do all these things with them. And it's like, okay, well, that might not be the case, but also we've been at these companies I've been at mine for 2 months. You've been at yours for
9.
Yeah. And so we need to give ourselves more time at the same time.
Totally.
Which we have talked about with every aspect of our lives.
Give ourselves time to adjust and settle in. How have you, I think you've done a really good job of balancing that full-time work and then also finding enjoyment in what you like to do. And you're like, I just need to go work out right now. Like, how did you find balance and then pour that energy, like work-life balance? Leave work at work and now go enjoy your life.
I think that I went in knowing that with a job, that is what I wanted. Like, I knew that I didn't want to work over 40 hours a week, and that I was like, work-life balance is going to be my priority. And so I started with that mindset. And from there, I'm blanking on her name, but Jenna Palick, I think. She is the one that created that like Fun on Weekdays like podcast and her whole brand around it. I think about that all the time, and I'm like, okay, this week, like, how can I have fun on the weekdays? Because the best part about working to me is the fact that we leave at 5 p.m. and granted, we have jobs where we can do this, but we leave at 5 p.m. and it stays at work. I don't have to go home and do anything else. Whereas in college and in high school, you left school and you left class and you still had homework. You always had these like things over your head. And I'm like, I don't. So I have from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. to do whatever I want to. And I feel like I go in with that mindset and I'm like, what people can I invite to a happy hour this week? I have my yoga class at the gym that I love to go to. I've been better lately about like saying yes to what I want to do, not what I feel like I need to do. In my head, I'm like, well, I need to work out every day and I need to do this and I need to do that. And it's like, no, I could go for a 10-minute walk and that's fine. And I could instead go to the driving range for a night. I could instead go and get happy hour with people or go sit out and get a drink, like read my book on the patio, like things that just are things I want to do. So I feel like sometimes I leave work and I'm like, well, I packed gym clothes, but you know what? I'm not really feeling the gym anymore. So I'm going to go home and do something else instead. And I know we talked about recently, like I have this, again, I think I'm romanticizing it, but I do think it's a great idea of like going for a walk before work and making it a super casual walk. It's finally getting nice out in the mornings in Chicago. And I'm like, I'm going to heat up my hot water with lemon and take my open mug and just walk, even in my PJs, around the block a couple times.
You're inspiring me to do this. I think it would set such a good mood for your day.
Yeah.
To just like stay in your PJs,
100%.
Throw some flip-flops on, go for a walk around. And if that means waking up 10 minutes before my alarm to just get some morning movement, I think it would have an amazing effect on the rest of my day.
Yeah. It's more, I think, I think I've been thinking a lot about slowing down just life and like the pace of my life.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are we overcomplicating things? Even I feel like hanging out with friends got complicated really quickly. And it's like, hey, do you want to come over while I read a book? Like, let's just spend time together and both read books. Let's spend time together and just watch a show tonight. Like,
we were so good at that in college.
Yeah.
Like, so, hey, I'm not doing anything.
Come
like
over.
I'm showing up on your doorstep.
Yeah, 100%.
And it was so casual that now it's like, well, I have to balance these things and I have work, so come over exactly at this time, but then I need you to be gone by this time.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, make it more casual. And I do 100%. Miss that aspect of living near, like with and near and around friends to where it was just casual. So I love that.
Yeah.
Bring back like casual living for crying out loud.
Like, honestly, show up on your friend's doorstep.
Yeah.
Because if you have a friend that's genuinely going to turn you away, they're not a good friend. Like, and so if any of my friends just showed up on my doorstep and weren't asking me to like go to a club with them, they show up on my doorstep and we're just like,
just to hang.
I just want to hang out. Like, can we just sit in your backyard? Can we just sit and watch a show? I would never be like, oh my gosh, no, I don't want to do that. Like, of course I want to do that. But I think it's making things less complicated. It's going for a quick walk in the morning, showing up as you are places, just doing things that you find joy in. If walking's not your thing, don't make that your thing. Make something else your thing. Like, I think that saved me so far. But again, I'm only 2 months into working, so I feel like I can't talk as much about it. But we also talk about traveling and like being able to break up your time and like of work because you're working constantly. And so then I'm like, okay, well, we had this 3-day weekend. I'm going to fly out to California because I have an extra day off of work. And I literally flew out Friday night and I fly back Monday tonight. And I don't have to take a single day off of work.
And it's that balance of like saving and spending. And so like you and I are in such a fortunate position to be able to save so much money at home so that we can then spend some of it on things like this, those spontaneous trips, going back to Texas for football games, going and planning a summer trip and like saving and spending, I think is something, I mean, you have to learn. Like I am a huge proponent of saving, like putting money away into 401k retirement, investing into mutual funds, la-di-da-di-da. You could go down the list, but also you're working. So spend the money that you make on things you enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause otherwise why are you working?
What are you working for?
Especially when you're younger and our age and you don't have other people you have to take care of.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah. And so you don't have a family, you don't have a spouse, you don't have these people that you have to provide financially for. And so it's like, well, you're making the money for yourself and for you to do things with it. And I'm like a lot less money focused than you are, which we've talked about. And not that that's a good or a bad thing, but I think like I struggle because I'm like, okay, well, I want to save short term because I want to get an apartment. I want to eventually move out. But I also know that I should be putting away money long term so that one day I can retire and I can be well off financially. But then it's like, okay, but right now I know that I'll slip into like a different mental state or like not great mental state if I'm not seeing my friends and if I'm not spending money going out to nice dinners. And I think it's just where like you have to figure out what your priorities are.
And it's totally a question that I asked you 2 days ago. I was like, well, what are your financial goals?
Yeah.
Like in order to know where you want to save, what percentages you want to save, you have to have like a goal in mind of what is important to you. Where do you want to save and where do you want to spend? And I think as we get into our careers and we're finally starting to make some money without those responsibilities, it's so good to understand what is important to you and then you put your money there.
Yeah. And I think the same goes with spending of what is important to you to spend your money on.
Yeah.
Because if for you love buying designer things or whatever it is, like then you put your money there. For me, I love to travel and I love to go out to nice dinners.
It brings you joy.
Yes. And it's like that is where my money's going to go. I don't do a lot of shopping. I don't buy designer things. I don't buy like these luxury items. I like to travel, see my friends, and I like to go out to nice dinners. Like that's where I'm going to spend my money. And so I think that it's important to just kind of have these ideas of like, okay, this is where I'm saving because these are my goals. This is where I'm going to spend because these are the things that I want to spend on. And it helps me to not feel as guilty for spending the money that I worked to make.
Yeah, 100%, which is the nice thing to have the flexibility to be able to do that.
Yeah,
definitely.
We've been talking a lot about like having goals and these long-term goals
Yeah.
of I want to grow within my company and I want to get here, or even short-term goals of within the next year, I want to be at this in my company. And it's such a hard line of like, I know that one day in life I want to move here, or I want to be here, or I want to be in this part of my company, but I have to find contentment in where I'm at right now, and just trust the Lord and trust that what I'm doing is working towards that goal.
I definitely go through these phases, and I've talked to some of our other friends too, who like when you first step into your career, it's such a big change and there's no end in sight. You get into your career and it's like, okay, when you're in college, you have one semester. You knew the classes you were going to take, and then it was going to end on this day. You were going to start your next semester.
Yeah.
And now you step into this career that is like forever. It is eternity. I mean, never have I thought 40 years down the line. And so it's hard to question like, oh God, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
Do I want to sit here at this computer and look at these Excel sheets?
Yes.
And do I want to be here? Do I want to move? Do I want to go experience new things?
Yep.
You compare, you contrast. But I think something that's helped me in finding content and where I am is like, this is just one step of the way.
100%.
Like, you don't know what your future is going to hold. And so there is no need, easier said than done, to be concerned about it right now.
Yeah.
But to just look at like today, conquer the day, tomorrow will worry about itself.
Yes.
And so, I mean, praise the Lord for Jesus and for giving me that faith in him, that knowing that everything is going to work out how it's 100%. Supposed to in the plan, but it is so hard. And so the only thing that like recommendation thing that I have is to try and being content with where you are.
100%.
Not every day has to be perfect. You don't have to be happy all the time, but just try to be content in the season of life that you are in. And I think you will find joy through that.
I saw something recently about how happiness obviously has to exist because sadness wouldn't exist without it. Like if sadness didn't exist, happiness wouldn't be a thing, that whole thing. But we look at life as if we're supposed to be happy 24/7, and that is not realistic.
It's not feasible
in any way. But there's a difference between being happy and finding contentness, and being content in, like you said, where you're at. And it's so important, but not that it's easy to do, but it almost is when you trust, like you said, in the Lord, that he is working, and I'm content right now because I'm like, I need to be in Downers Grove currently, and I need to be at the job that I am right now. I am happy with that
Which you
job.
enjoy.
Yep.
Yes.
I enjoy the job. I'm not miserable. We're not saying to find contentment in something that makes you so depressed and miserable, but to just appreciate, hey, I have these goals that I want to reach one day. I'm not at them yet, but I'm at this little building block.
Yeah.
And I can be content here knowing that the Lord is going to help align things to get me to that next step.
And that's hard because we are so young and we're so eager and we want to work hard and we want to chase after our dreams. Yeah. And so we have those goals and the whole world is our oyster. Like you can go do anything. You could move anywhere. You could truly kind of get into, change a career path. You could go into anything. We're so young. We have nothing tying us back. And so I think that's the friction that happens, but just finding content in where you are is truly what has helped me from spiraling through and going down a rabbit hole of those thoughts.
100%. The hardest thing that early 20s face now is the fact that we have too many options. We can move anywhere we want to. We can do any job we want to. We can go and we can do all of these things and it's overwhelming because it's like, I have so many options. Where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? And I think that's where you have to look at past things that have happened in your life and how those puzzle pieces fit together so beautifully and you could have never expected them to. And it's like, well, now I trust that this is a puzzle piece that the other puzzle pieces will fit into eventually. Like I look at 3 months ago, I went to Florida for a month because I wasn't working. I didn't have any job on the horizon, literally nothing. While I was in Florida, I had the realization of maybe I want to do something within travel. I travel all the time. I traveled at least once a month in this last year. And I was like, I kind of like travel. Maybe I want to do something within that. I mentioned it to my mom, and one of my mom's clients, later that day, was like, oh my gosh, my daughter works at this company and there's an opening. They're hiring for a position, so she should totally apply. And I applied, and a month later I was in that job. And it is so crazy because I was in Florida with no thought of what I was going to do. Just had this like idea of maybe I should start applying to travel jobs. I never would have thought that those puzzle pieces would fit together the way that they did. College, same thing. Never would have thought that I would end up at TCU, that I would end up with the friends that I did. Whatever it is, like, your life to this point has worked and has come together, and everything has worked itself out. And I feel like even if maybe you're not a religious person, you can trust that the rest of your life will start to fit together because the past life has.
Yeah.
I think that's just like, it's so important to just put it in perspective in that way.
100%. Look at what has worked before and know that it will continue to in the future.
Yeah. And you can't get caught up comparing yourself.
Yeah, it's really hard because this is, again, like, you step into your, we're 23, and I swear every other day I see a post of someone getting engaged.
Oh,
I see people who are pregnant. I see people who are traveling, who are getting their masters, who have a full-time job, who work 80 hours a week. Like, we're all in such different stages of our life that naturally we compare, and that is one thing you just can't do, because comparison is the thief of all joy, and you will drive yourself crazy comparing yourself to others.
Yeah.
We have to find a way to get rid of that and know that we are where we're supposed to be right now and being content in where you are.
Yeah. It's helped me lately to take breaks from social media. Like, I was telling you that my phone has been so overwhelming to me lately, and that it just feels like there's a lot happening on it. When I open up social media, it's weird because it's like, when I see people getting engaged or posting a pregnancy or different things, I in no way want that for my life currently. I want that in 6-7 years. Like, no time soon do I want that. But it's still just like this reminder of like where other people are and you're not.
You question, like, am I supposed to be there?
Yeah.
And then I get confused of like, well, what do I want? And I think that's what's really been a struggle recently, of like, you have all of these friends or acquaintances in so many different areas of life.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, what do I even want?
Yes.
And finding that balance has been hard.
Yeah, and I think it gets hard, like, like, the silly thing, but like when babysitting or something and kids ask you like, oh, so you like don't have any more school, and it's like, nope. And then like, so are you married?
Are you a mom?
And it's like, no. But that's almost just what we were taught. Like, the society just kind of raised everyone to believe like you went to college and then you get married and then you have a family and that's just what you do.
Especially in the Southern culture.
Yeah. And so it's weird now because it's like, well, I'm 23, I'm single, so I'm trying to date because that's kind of what I'm supposed to do, / what I maybe want to do, questionable in today's society sometimes.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, that only also makes things more complicated, and so you add the relationship level on, and there's a lot happening in your early 20s, and it's like, how am I getting to where I want to be / is this where I currently want to be? And it leaves you questioning all the time. That's what's the hardest thing.
Never have I in my whole life thought about my life so much than I have in the last 9 months. Like, I swear that's all I think about is my life. Yeah. What am I doing? Is this what I want to be doing? What do I want to do? Yeah. What next step am I going to take? Because we have goals and we have the whole world at our fingertips. We don't know where to go. We don't know what to do. And so it's just so natural in this like season of life to question, to wonder, but to also like really want to achieve some personal goals. Yeah. And like, whether that's career or personally or location wise or start a company, like, we just want to. So it's hard. Early 20s, post grad, there's transition. We're so eager to start new things and to do new things that I think it can just become overwhelming.
Yeah. And I think there's beauty in that of we're just passionate about things.
Yeah.
And there's beauty in knowing where you want to be and being like, well, how can I get there? Because I'm determined and I am going to get there.
Yeah.
But I can't quite see it yet.
I can't get there yet.
Which is normal and natural. And again, everyone in some way is feeling some part of that. Everyone kind of feels maybe behind or is comparing themselves to the person even living right next to them in their apartment building. Whatever it is, like, everyone is on a different path, but yet feeling very similarly no matter what path you're on.
Yeah, it's a really good point of view and perspective. But you're where you're supposed to be right now.
Yes.
Like, no matter if it's where you want to be, goals you still have, you're where you are supposed to be right now.
Yeah, I think the number one piece of advice I could give is to find contentment in where you are right now and be content with it and embrace that. like put your roots down wherever you are right now. Find friends, put yourself out there, find things that you're passionate about, and whatever that is, find people that also enjoy that.
Because you need to enjoy it.
Yeah. If you like going to yoga, go to yoga and meet people in those classes. Like, do things that are going to allow you to feel. My therapist mentioned earlier this year that she felt like there was some part of my identity that like wasn't clicking. And we were talking, and throughout our session talking, she finally pinpointed, and she was like, when people ask you where you're living right now, your answer is Chicago, but you'd want to be in Texas. Because that was my goals. I was going to graduate and I was going to move to Austin. And that has changed the way that I look at things now, because she was like, you're not even identifying with the place that you're physically living in. And it's like, okay, so maybe I don't want to live in Chicago for the rest of my life, but I'm going to be content in the fact that that's where I'm at right now, and that I love my job, and I'm going to put down roots here, and I'm going to find things that I like to do and find people that I like to do things with. Yeah. And just embrace that. Not every day, obviously, like we said, is going to be awesome. You're going to have days where you're like, well, maybe I still don't want to be here. Or maybe I still don't want to be in this job, or whatever it is. But that would be my one piece of advice, is just find a way to be content where you are, to trust that that's where you need to be, and to plant your identity and your roots in that.
100%. I think that's really good advice.
Yeah.
Plant your roots.
Yeah. Plant the roots and watch them grow. And you can uproot them at any time and move somewhere else. Like, these things can happen and changes can be made. And again, you never know when things are going to shift. Like, when I was having that conversation with my therapist months ago, I never thought that I would actually be staying in Chicago long term. And now I'm content with it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that is where I'm supposed to be. And you know what? That's okay. And that's where I'll be for the time being. And so, again, everyone's in the same boat. Everyone feels very similarly. I also encourage people, like, talk to your friends about it. Like, what I feel like I'm always amazed at, I'll sit in like a rut for a week, and then I'll call one of my friends that weekend and I'll say something, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I was feeling that way this week too.
The exact same way.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, well, now we can sit in this together instead of alone.
100%. And that's why we just wanted to have this conversation, like, knowing that you aren't alone. Cicely and I love to talk about these things because it's like you can relate to people. They make you feel seen, valued, and heard. And so definitely just have conversations, ask questions, share your opinions,
show up for others, find contentment, all the things.
And that's why I value our friendship so much.
Obviously. It's great. It's the best when you find people that you can be so open with, and like people that are willing to listen to you and willing to just hear you out, and also know you so well that it's like, no, I totally makes sense that you feel that way, and like, I get it. They're willing to relate to you.
Yes.
But yeah, well, we hope you guys enjoyed all of our life updates. I would say comment if you can relate, but I know everyone can relate in some way. So maybe let us know how you relate, / if there's anything specific you want us to touch more on. We'd be happy to do so.
Had so much fun chatting.
Yeah, and so fun to be back in person too. Well, we'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.
Bye.